I don't think it makes any difference.
I don't think it makes any difference, no. Well, there you go, it's rolling.
Great. So the subject of this one is gratitude, honesty, and I can't think of it.
The meaning of life.
Brilliant. No, we're not. I want to do this other thing instead now, right. The subject of this one is gratitude, honesty, and intuition. As we get ever closer to the mystical and interesting date of the 21st of December 2012, and our allotted time as human beings doing what we're doing grows towards a close, one of the things that people often ask is, what can we do to make things easier? What can we do to make this transition as desirable and as pleasant as possible? And this is what I've got for you. I've got these three words: gratitude, honesty, and intuition. Now, if you go back to Victorian times, like the 19th century, then the whole society was riddled with hypocrisy, and there's very little honesty. In fact, when people spoke to each other and asked each other how they were, they would always say things like, how do you do, and how do you do, and fine, thanks. And the whole idea is you're supposed to lie through your teeth, not give any honesty at all, but just come up with forms of politeness. Well, in the time that we're living in, we're seeing this more and more. If you read autobiographies of celebrities, you'll discover it's a trend. It's a trend which is almost like a tidal wave, which is people seem to have an overwhelming desire and need to be honest, to tell the whole world just what their flaws are. And it's interesting that you catch this amongst people who are rich and famous, that they have the desire to do this. And my opinion is it reflects a much deeper need in the human society, which is we have had so much hypocrisy, so much lies in so many centuries and thousands of years of existence, and coming up to this really crucial time, one of the most important things we can do is to find a way to be honest without necessarily going around and hurting other people. Of course, you don't want to do that. You don't want just to be relentlessly honest and give great offence and cause great pain, of course not. But the idea is to find a way. Sometimes you might find tactful ways to do it, but nonetheless the aim being to be honest about how you feel, honest about what you think. So honesty is a great help in this particular time. It's going to make the transition a lot easier. The second one, gratitude, really ties in with what I was talking about from No Hard Feelings and Soul Contracts, which is if you contracted to live a life and meet all these people and have all these experiences, and some of them are really wonderful and some of them are really hellish, well, hang on a moment, if you organise that for yourself, this is a view, a way to look at things, a way of seeing life, then wouldn't it be incredibly appropriate to be in a place of constant gratitude? Now, I'm incredibly grateful for, when I was in my 20s, discovering the religious movement called Rastafarianism. I lived in London, and at that time me and my mate Frank, we were the only white Rastafarians in the entire of London. There were plenty of Rastafarians from Jamaica, there were a few from Africa and other countries, but we were the only white ones. And one of the things I really appreciated about that religion straight away is this concept of gratitude. They used to refer to it as giving thanks and praise, so they would say give thanks and praise every minute, every hour. And that was a really helpful way to look at life. Now, a lot of people who got into the Rastafarian religion experienced great oppression. For a start, the colour of their skin, apart from me and my mate, guaranteed that. Secondly, the way they had their hair, which is in what were called dreadlocks, would serve to make them more repellent to the average member of society. So they experienced lots of rejection, lots of ostracism, and lots of difficult times. And their response to all that was to give thanks and praise every minute, every hour, and that way they were tapping into the well springs of gratitude. And the more you can give thanks for things that come along in your life, so much the better. It just makes your life easier. So, for example, I had an experience yesterday when central heating wouldn't work, so I thought, my central heating was not working. That's a bit of a so-and-so, and I thought, well, get over it, your central heating's not working. Is it minus 5 degrees centigrade outside? No, it isn't. What month of the year is it? June. We'll get over it then. So I thought, okay, get over it. And so, okay, just have gratitude for the fact that it's not minus 5 degrees outside and get on with what I'm doing. And then, mysteriously, I tried to get the central heating to work today, and suddenly it works. Hey, wonderful. So I can have gratitude for the central heating packing in, and then the following day I have gratitude for the central heating working again. So that's gratitude. And now the third one, perhaps the most important out of all the three, although I highly rate those other two, the third one is intuition. The idea about intuition is it's not logic based, it's not head based, in fact it's way beyond. Anyone who's seen the film The Matrix, anyone who's seen any of these really modern films with lots of very, very fast violence in, the main thing that you soon become aware of is a person cannot do those fast, violent martial arts scenes. They cannot do what the guys in The Matrix do. If they think about it, they have no time to think about it. They have to be instantly responding to whatever is coming towards them. So this is one way to understand intuition. If your intuition says, I just think I'll just walk down a different street today, I don't usually go that way, well, give it a go, because your intuition is tuning in a way that's going to really help you in terms of dealing with stuff in the future. So there you are, there's a simple prescription for you. Gratitude, giving thanks of praise every moment you can for whatever is coming your way, knowing that you contracted in the first place anyway. It's a viewpoint. Second thing, honesty. Be honest without being cruel to other people. And third thing, intuition. Give it a go. No hard feelings, eh? So we're going to have a little word about happiness. Happiness. One of the views that I've sometimes heard expressed is that we're here on this earth to be happy. And in many ways that sounds like quite a desirable intention. Could there be anything wrong with desiring to be happy? I don't think there's anything wrong with desiring to be happy, but I would say that there's a great deal of naivety in that statement, and that actually what we're here to do as human beings is to experience being a human being. And therefore that includes the opposite of happiness, which is of course sadness, and many other conditions as well. So if we look at it that this planet is really a place for us to grow and to learn, then it would make sense that we would experience happiness in our life, but it would also make a great deal of sense if we experience its polar opposite, which is without doubt including sadness. So perhaps our purpose in life is not to be happy, but to experience happiness and sadness, and to reach a point of acceptance and gratitude where it's possible to have a day where I can feel happy, and in the same day I can feel sad, and I can accept the happiness when it comes, and I can accept the sadness when it comes. And I have a feeling this is one of the things that these intimate relationships are all about, because aren't they just a wonderful way for us to learn over and over again that every single intimate relationship, and we could also include friendships in this, I'm going to include times of happiness and joy, and times of sadness, misery and despair. Isn't that really what a human being's life is about? So perhaps rather than attempting to want to have a coin with only one face on it, imagine tossing a coin 1,000 times. Could it always come down 1,000 times heads and 0 times tails? I don't think that's the universe we live in, do you? No. So therefore, if it's tossing coins, or if it's experiencing human emotions, perhaps tossing coins results in heads and tails. And perhaps human emotion experience happiness and sadness. And perhaps that's perfectly okay. And perhaps the real gift of life is to actually reach the point where you appreciate and genuinely acknowledge the gifts of happiness and sadness in your life. I'll never forget my daughter being given a book by a well-meaning friend of mine, and it was called Being Happy. Her mother had died weeks before this, and she took one look at the title and she didn't need to say a word. I know exactly what she thought, and it was along the lines of, oh, how naive can this be? So get real. Yeah, life's all about all feelings, all emotions, and let's enjoy it. No hard feelings, eh? I'll throw that in as well.